This week on Hermitcraft.
The throne is gone again. There's a dog up there.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixel our writer is LoyXP, and we wish you a happy and safe Halloween, or, if you're most of the world, Sunday. In the spirit of the holiday, the Hermitcraft videos have all been full of spooks and mysteries, and we can't wait to tell you all about it in mere moments in the main show. But before that, enjoy this fashion segment of Hermit's Halloween costumes, courtesy of Mumbo's Spookifinator machine.
No! I've been turned into a robot.
I'm finally freed to my natural state of mummification.
Okay, those go in there, and we... I'm a scarecrow. That's what I am. It took me a second, and I've got a pumpkin head.
Ow! Also, ow! Are we ready for this? I have wings, and I have... Is that a I have a halo. Am I Angel Cleo?
Oh no! What happened to the creeper face on my shirt? It's been moved to my face.
Am I some kind of green-headed alien Martian thing?
I mean, he did say it is this. Is that a zombie art? That's a zombie.
Is that blood? Is it my red zombie skin? Oh jeez, I've only got one eye.
Wait, that's just how Joe always looks nowadays. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with the big news, the coveted Diamond Throne has once again been taken from the mayor. No, not stolen either, purchased in a perfectly logical fashion, if still not a perfectly legal one. Then again, what is the law on this server anyway? Having found out that the Hep is paying big money in exchange for mycelium harvested, the Resistance calls an emergency meeting, ripping the members out from whatever mob farm or decked out they were doing.
Wait, I think some people got stuck. Okay, it worked for most of us.
They bring all of their blocks to the table, effectively exchanging the throne for stacks upon stacks of mushroom dirt. Of course, they had to uproot an entire other mushroom island to get here, but it's okay, it's all for the principle.
I think the numbers have done. I've asked Etho as well to run the numbers. Do they check out?
Yeah, so I kind of gave up on that.
Okay, right.
Sweet baby jelly. They stole the throne again.
A whole other angle of attack is discovered by Grian when he purchases a llama at Vintage Beef's store and uses it to automatically attack the HEP wolves. So now the Resistance will be using llamas to cull the wolves that cull the sheep, at least until HEP brings in a wither boss and puts a lid on it once and for all. XB Crafted is in the middle of building a shipyard for his post-apocalyptic cityscape when the button is pushed, and happily tears apart another mushroom island so the crew can trade in for the Diamond Throne. It's not the only button that disrupts his week, because he willingly steps into Mumbo's machine to become seasonally spooky, and then tricks and treats himself at Tango and Impulse's latest holiday attraction.
How do you make red wool without... Wait, what?
After meeting up with Mumbo to recruit him as the leader, XB also pays for access to Mumbo's industrial district so he can stock up on gunpowder, then blows off some steam at the combat arena with some 1v1 against Hypno.
Where are you at?
Hypno.
I keep seeing particles from this torch, and I think it's like you shooting at me.
I mean, maybe it is.
Nowadays, Hypnotized is more experienced with combat against Ravagers anyway. Luckily, he does find the black market in it, which means he at least gets to try that mechanic for a bit before the dungeon closes down for good, just as Ijevin squeezes in half an episode's worth of decked out.
I've still got 2 keys left, and we actually had a successful run, so I'm pretty proud of that.
The end really is happening. Tango Tech has called out that if anything, Decked Out has been running for a few months more than he planned now. And he's got more projects to take care of instead of hiding shulker boxes around the commercial area 4 days a week.
I am definitely toying with the idea of having a special event inside Decked Out once the game is complete. Totally for fun, still working out the details, but I think it might be amazing.
He finds himself on the receiving end of a treasure hunt actually, having bought one from the back of Grian's barge. And then, not long after he'd finished building an Impulse SV designed potion brewer over and over again, the real thing shows up and the two get to work making a Samhain celebration for the rest of the server. The trick-or-treat house may just be Impulse's revenge on the server for discovering the Hep interference in his mycelium farm. Either way, it's a masterclass in Halloween hijinks. The treat dispenses a shulker box stuffed with goodies, while the trick drops you down into a room where you must solve a crafting puzzle and give the machine the item it demands before the time runs out, or be blown to smithereens. Naturally, the test runs are a whole different level of chaotic.
What am I? Doesn't that need to be grass to get the seed?
That's my bad!
You get to stay in here while I leave. That's the new rule.
I ran out of the room.
You coward!
XP Crafted, Keralis, Azuma, and Zombie Cleo give the fixed version a go, which makes sense with how much Cleo's been dealing with the Halloween swamps of the season. You see, having received a full box of slime blocks from one of Iskal's jackpot prizes, Joe Hills sets out to prove he ain't afraid of no ghost by building a statue of Slimer from Ghostbusters by his Halloween corn maze. After a few tests, he decides the only way he can truly capture the iconic ectoplasm is on a much bigger scale. They're thirds of which the other two winners are free to claim at any time.
Here's 1/3 of a Slimer, the most attractive third.
So the face is my third.
Sure.
I'm not even mad. How'd you do this? I'm not even mad. Which third is mine?
When Zombie Cleo drops by to assess the fixes to Joe's giant rainbow, the two of them attempt Azuma's maze minigame, but ironically enough, they get lost before they even find it.
We could just go get lost in Asuma's base at this point.
Cleo only does a little better when running a labyrinth on her own. Late game decked out is really not kind to newcomers with no cards to their name. Add to that the cloned hermit mess from before going a little nuclear, and it would have been a week of hilarious disasters for her if not for the really nice decorations she puts up at Joe's doghouses. Naturally, Iskal's first reaction to Mumbo's witchification chamber is to put a mustache on it, but his second reaction is one of permanent surprise. Buying his own day pass to Mumbo's industrial district gets him feeling self-conscious about his own farming efforts, even if he does immediately find the broken parts of Mumbo's system. But it's enough for him to recruit some stonemasons in his own industrial chunks so he can keep building with bricks, finish the surround for the tree farm, and connect it up to the minecart progress indicator.
I mean, this is completely unnecessary, but it's really cool.
After relocating his nether portal, Iskal does some recreational trinket hunting over at Stress Monster's latest minigame, which has come in clutch just in time for Halloween. Named Stressed Out, the aim is to explore the many floors of this spooky mansion and find hidden barrels collecting trinkets, each with pre-assigned point values. Once players have collected as many as they can find, they select a plot in the graveyard and lay their collections to rest, to be counted later by Stress. The trick to this treat is in getting access to the barrels, many of which are hidden behind locked doors with button combinations, and the wrong combination could send you for a swim in lava, not to mention the basement is slowly filling up with zombies. To encourage players to sign up for the game after she's put so much work in, Stress sets up a system to give away the artifacts she's earned playing Decked Out.
If we are to press, like I've said, the left button first, no, and then the right button, no, I've written thank you for signing up to play.
Keralis, in the meantime, learns to play her mansion, as well as with RTX turned on, though not at the same time. Though the Hermitcraft server is a beaut with ray tracing, no matter if you're being chased by mobs or not, which hey, we get RTX decked out too, and it's as insane as one might expect. And even though Keralis gives up having not found all the secrets the haunted house has to offer, it's still a really fun adventure full of ghosts and ghouls.
Ooh. I'm out of here for the moment.
But while the Resistance laughs its laugh, HEP too rises to the occasion. Azumavoid is hard at work developing the rail entrance into the Hep Mountain and the vault door leading up to the underground base of Hep, which is only underground because they've built a mountain there.
You know that feeling where it just works all of a sudden? I just had that. Let's see this in action first. Superb.
Admittedly, his time is split with a mega project he's picked up, where a whole desert amidst hermit bases will be taken up by what seems to be a potion brewing super farm that also makes most of the ingredients or knows who to snag them from. Which is super ambitious, even if for now it's just a clearance under the dunes with a Netherwart farm blueprint tacked on. Shocked by the disappearance of the mayoral funds and the mayoral seat, Good Times with Scar directs all that energy into forcing an entire island to appear just offshore the shopping district. Lore-wise, the fabric atop it is the birthplace of the Hep movements, as they fought hard to liberate the mushrooms from the mycelium, forging the grass in the grass forges of the giant facility.
And boy, was this one of the largest builds that we have ever done in a single episode. This thing is absolutely massive and highly detailed.
After being given the keys to the Hep factory, BOO decides there are other ways to strike out at the mycelium resistance. Setting up a Mystery Shack-inspired shop neighboring the red zone, B-Dubs creates a gambling minigame in which you bet on whether grass or mycelium will spread to a dirt block. Just be careful if you don't bet on grass.
So if anybody decides they want to choose mycelium, they get blasted from above. Now they can still play the game, but you flick that lever, you're going to pay the price.
But B-Dubs can't resist sneaking into the Resistance HQ when Scar proposes swimming back through the tunnels the sheep and mushrooms came out of. They make it into the base, but is it really the base? And is that vault really a vault? And is that TNT really TNT? Exactly how the Resistance has had them played this time is actually quite a fascinating discussion. It might have been the same fake headquarters as the one from the wrestling ring, just with the names changed to the actual ones for no reason, or this could have been a whole new fake but with a functional R&D department. Maybe it really was the real one, but they abandoned it and are living out of the old fake by now. Or really, is it even a fake headquarters if you're using it for breeding sheep and cows and storing your one diamond block? Whichever it is, by the time they find the final Resistance base, Cub will be there with a whole heap of TNT, or netherite, depending on if he's already used one to mine the other by then. It will never be not funny that his bakery requires blast mining to be stocked. The third party in this conflict is, of course, Team Podzol, and Vintage Beef has definitely made some Podzol sales, so people are clearly interested. He sets up a meeting, and people turns out to be Hypno, who still counts as a person, but for now there's only one of him. Either way, that's enough people to build a headquarters in a Mega Tiger, but that won't stop Beef returning to the shopping district so he can fleece Etho for decked out artifacts.
I want you to succeed, Beef. I do.
Okay,
right?
After this trade, you will be tied with Cub Fan for the lead.
Right, but that's
points.
mostly because of my doing, not because of your doing.
No, wait a minute.
And finally there's Mumbo. While it's easy to laugh at Iskal's new face, Mumbo isn't too happy with his own Halloween transformation, and decides to return to the spookification chamber. But when some redstone and iron somehow makes its way in with him, he is transformed into a kind of evil looking robot. And the first thing this sentient machine does is make more machines. In this case, 2 flower farms, a kelp farm, and some auto-flushing netherwort. Color coding them for easy identification, now visitors have started to arrive at his industrial district. He also has to spawn-proof the color coding with carpet, because the zombie problem was already getting out of hand. Not a great look for the new leader of Mycelium and Vaults. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixelriffs. I've been spending the lead up to Halloween trying to catch all the zombies I can for my museum. You'll find a link to that video in this week's in-screen theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.